Good afternoon and welcome to another Football Park podcast with me, Seb Ewen, and Monsieur Colin Kazim Richards, coming to you with a world first for Brixton Radio as we bring sports content to them for the first time. So we hope that you enjoy as we come to you from the studios in sunny Lambeth, home of the Lambeth Tigers, from whence Jadon Sancho came. Jadon playing in Europe last night with Chelsea as they won the Europa Conference League as well. Kaz, to start off with, how would you rate Chelsea's season?
I think Chelsea have had a good season. You know, it wasn't all the metrics didn't have to be if they won that last night. They qualified for Champions League, right? I think this year for the coach was a year of getting them back into the Champions League. Personally, I think he's achieved what he wanted to, and then to tick it off with an exclamation mark of okay, it's UEFA Conference League. It's still a European major trophy.
Do you think that we undervalue? I certainly do. I've done it before. Tongue in cheek, but do we undervalue these European competitions?
100%. I 100% believe that when I say we, I mean us football fans here in England are
Champions League obsessed.
Not Champions League, very privileged, you know, very entitled.
I think we've got 8 teams in the Champions League this season.
Well, I just think, I think we over here in England and Great Britain kind of turn our nose up at Europa League and now UEFA Conference League because of our own expectations.
So you've played in lots of different countries abroad.
Yeah.
You have experienced many different leagues. Do these leagues tend to put more importance on these competitions than we do in England?
Yeah. It's a major trophy.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't want to win a major trophy? I just don't get that. I don't understand all the banter that's being thrown at Tottenham. That's probably going to be thrown at Chelsea. You asked Cole Palmer yesterday, yeah, when he was talking after the game. Ask him what is his exact words. I just love finals.
Yeah. I
just love finals.
A final is a final, right?
Listen, I told my son's team got to a final 2 weeks ago, and there are some top pros that have never been to a final at any level.
Mm-hmm. And is it about the day? Is it about the...
It's about the day. It's about what you can build off of it. You understand? Like, look, we grew up Arsenal fans. I promise you, I even found myself last week when Tottenham won Europa League. Just looking at it like, that is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I'm from those areas, right? Tottenham is a place where I'm basically always at, whether it be for my haircut or whatever
in
it
your
might
genetics,
be.
yeah.
My family's from those areas.
Yeah.
I'm always there. To see people jumping on Brown Eagles, for example, you know, seeing what it's done for the community, a major trophy, the second biggest trophy in Europe that you can win. Yeah, and people are laughing at it. But to me, it's just crazy. You know, what they can build now off of having that major European trophy is endless.
And plaudits, they have to go for...
It's tough for you, I can see.
It's difficult. It's difficult. But Big Ange Postecoglou...
the master politician.
He has grown for me as a person and a human being.
Yeah.
Because he put everything on the line. He made a statement. And I think, it was either very clever or very stupid. I think a lot of people said at the time. And in the long run, it's proved that Ange is a little bit of a political mastermind, as you've put it, a giant, because he got that right.
Do you know what I like and close to love about his character? Is that he says what his truth is at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's always easy when you're in that field, for now us, when I say us, it's people on the outside, even me now, retired footballer, coach, etc., is to go back and now think, he got that wrong. But at that moment he said it, he was 100% right. Talk to me after my second season. So I think it's very easy in this climate, in this society now, to always, because everything, you can't get rid of it once it's on the internet. It doesn't matter how many times you delete it. It's there. It's there. And even if you
stick around, guys.
they stick around. And, you know, he lived in his truth and he said, look, judge me after my second. I've always won something in my second season. And he's gone and done it. And like, for me, I respect that so much because I'm kind of similar in the aspect of I speak my truth. So like, you know that the group chats that we got. So for example, I'm in a Liverpool group chat. I'm in a Tottenham group chat where some of my guys are Tottenham fans, so it's like a mix. And my Liverpool ones are like with my cousins and that, and some of my friends. I'm the kind of guy that, you know, if Arsenal was to go 1-0 up against you in 10 minutes, I'm bantering already in the group chat.
Okay, so you're early. You've got the courage, you've got conviction.
It's not early, but what are we waiting for the 90 minutes? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And
Enjoy,
then
yeah.
I had to come out of one of my Liverpool with my cousin Isaac and one of my good friends Paul, because there was no banter during the game. When they lose, the group chat is like dead.
Yeah.
But now when they win after, they want to banter, and I'm like, bro, that's not banter. That's rubbish, isn't it? You know what I mean?
As well, yeah.
Like, I'm firing stuff in, whatever. And if we lose in the end, well, that's what it is, isn't it? Like you take it. Like, you understand what I mean? But not to say nothing the whole 90 minutes. You've been getting smashed the whole 90 minutes, right? And then they come.
So what were the Spurs fans saying across this season? What was their view on Ange? What was the feeling overall? Because there's a decision to make. Does Ange stay? Is he staying at Spurs? Do you get rid of him? I mean, if you're looking, if the season is judged on results, the results overall have been terrible.
They have. But you know what he's got now? Like I just said a second ago.
A little trophy.
He's got that trophy. He's got the Champions League that he can now go in and be like, right, I told you what I needed. This is exactly what I want. And he's also got the leverage with players now. They're not looking at where they finished up.
They've got a very nice stadium, training grounds okay, Champions League football.
Listen, Champions League football, and also now a coach that wanted me. Yeah. They got a lot to build on now. Everyone's looking at their what they finished on 17th. But you know, at the start of this season next year or in 2-3 years' time, no one ain't looking back and being like, whoa, in 2024, the 24-25 season, Tottenham finished 17th. They're looking at that major trophy that got them into Champions League. Now they're in the hat. They're in the hat to do great things next year because they're in Champions League. Where other teams domestically had a better season than them. Where are they? They're not there.
Aston Villa.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? They're not there. So I think the only way Ange leaves, my opinion, is if he wants to go. I don't think Tottenham can. He's done something that nobody has ever done for Tottenham.
I think it was quite clever as well, because whatever job he goes into, he's always bought himself 2 seasons as well.
That's what I'm saying to you. He's a political mastermind, and you have to rate it. I don't care what anybody says, like, oh, you're a traitor. I'm not a traitor, bro. I'm just speaking facts. You lot are governed by who you support. I'm just speaking the actual truth from outside. I'm a football fan. How can you not, like, man, that was crazy. Listen, I love the banner, and I still banner my Tottenham friends right now, and I'm not speaking for all Tottenham fans when I hear it, because the group chat is cousins.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just looking at it, that's a neutral, a football fan now, yeah? Man, come on. Look at it. It brought the whole community out.
I mean, listen, it's also cost effective. They need to sack him. And I think that would arguably, they've got a better chance of recruiting a higher calibre of player because of the Champions League football that they have to offer. They can say they win things.
Exactly.
Like
there's no more banner in Tottenham about not winning anything.
No. Across to the red side of North London, though, perhaps, Thierry Henry has spoken out recently saying that Arsenal have arguably underperformed, or maybe it's fair that we're asking for a little bit more. Would you say that Spurs' season has been more successful than Arsenal's?
Yeah, yeah. Spurs season has been more successful than Arsenal's. Now, if you want me to sit here as an Arsenal fan and give you that, I think a lot of Arsenal fans will tell you no, da, da, da. But I guarantee you, I'll give you this context. Right? This is my thought process. We spoke before. If you speak to Declan Rice, because Declan Rice is another European winner, right? If we speak to Declan Rice and ask him, would you give back your UEFA Europe Conference League trophy medal for West Ham to finish in the semi-finals of the Champions League? What do you think he would say?
I think he might consider it. I don't know, but no, 100%. He's going to keep his medal, right? When you have, I think the thing is with a final, no matter what it is the day. It's the whole day itself.
It's the day. It's the history. You're leaving a mark. No one can ever take that away from you when you win that. You got that medal at home. Your family, your kids, everything you've worked for in your career.
Talk to me about your first final.
Oh, my first final was. You want from Sunday League?
Start with the birth of it basically, and then your first professional.
So my Sunday League, I played at Inter.
Because you still remember it, right?
Of course. Scored from the halfway line. I scored from the halfway line too. I think it was against Haringey. It was against Haringey Borough. Yeah.
What age group?
Under 9s.
Okay, so you had a little bit of power in the quad to get it from the halfway.
I remember back then we played 11 aside. It wasn't none of this small-sided
with,
what they
with
do
grass
now.
that long as well.
Yeah, it was crazy. And Haringey were good. Haringey were very good. Like it's another area that's a little bit like ours. Hungry kids at the time, like coming from Wood Green, etc. Tottenham, blah de blah. Edmonton, like they were called Haringey Borough, but you don't have to live in
these also are geographic locations where historically players come from.
Yeah, like you got Lionel
Morgan, Broadwater Farm area as well.
Yeah, basically, a lot of them was from Broadwater Farm, but then Classford, who's like historical in Sunday League, everybody would know. Big up Classford. Hope you're doing well. Broadwater Farm was another derby. That was crazy to get into Broadwater Farm and get out. That was tough. We used to beat them all the time though.
just a caveat.
Just throw that all out there. Nah, but Haringey, it was against Haringey. I remember because Serge, he was one of their top players back then. I don't know what Serge is doing right now, but I was at Wimbledon with him as well. Yeah, amazing. And I think I got it on video, and look back at those memories. A final, and I got my medal.
VHS
I still got my, it was Bradley Johnson.
Yeah.
It was his dad. He caught everything on video.
Okay.
Everything. My dad didn't have no cameras.
I saw him a moment. It was good enough for me.
My dad didn't have no cameras. My dad was just shouting, "Hey!" Yeah, Big Keith had all the cameras and yeah, pictures and everything. Yeah, I think we beat them like 7-1. I think Bradley got about 4 that game as well. But I still got the medal at home. Show my son, show my kids. It's a time like that. You can't take that away from me.
And when you win the final, when you win the competition, what does that do for your self-belief?
Well, my self-belief was crazy anyway. Yeah,
nothing. I was already there.
Like I could. You know what? On that video, I think I lifted up the cup without my top on. I'm sure I did, and I had my top on here, and I thought I was the guy. I was the guy.
You were the guy.
I was the guy.
At that moment, you were the guy.
Yeah, at that moment, I was the guy, and those are the memories because those are the time where football is not a business. There's no politics involved. You think like when you're at that final and you're winning that and you're winning leagues or whatever you are doing on Sunday League, you thinking that's how football is in the pros. So it's pure, it's innocent. It's a time that I think every kid should feel within whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it be football, whether it be any type of sport, any type of industry they're trying to get into, feeling that innocence of the purity. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, the sense of achievement. This is something that you enjoy
Man.
doing. You've applied yourself properly, and you've got your results out there.
Crazy. Now, my first final, I don't know if you can call this a final, it is a final, was when I got transferred to Fenerbahce from Sheffield United. My first official game. Obviously, we had pre-season friendlies, blah, blah, blah. First official game was Fenerbahce against, what was it? Yeah, Besiktas in Kern Stadium, Super League final. Super Cup final. So who won the league and the cup, or...
So the equivalent of the Charity Shield, shall we say? Or is that... I saw your eyes there saying, don't demean me like that.
No, it's not. You know, and this is the question that you had before. Is it taken more serious abroad? 100%. Even pre-season games are taken more. It's not such thing as pre-season. It's a game. You know? There's no...
So I've obviously hurt inner Colin here by devaluing the season opening Charity Shield equivalent in Turkey.
Don't do that. It's not charity. Don't do that.
How did it go?
Yeah, we won.
Okay.
Crazy.
Were you surprised? Because if we're coming, I mean, listen, I'm joking around, but you're coming from the English culture, you're going over to Turkey, and then you've got Turkish heritage as well. You've not lived there before. You've not played in Turkey before. So this is brand new. What were your expectations before the game? Did you realise quite how big it was? So going into it, you were maybe of my mentality a little bit more.
I had no expectation. For me, I was just
playing a game.
Not mad excited because, you know, I'm now playing an official game in Germany that's supposed to be in Turkey, but we're playing it in Germany because there's so many fans there. So the whole experience now, we're flying over, we're staying in the hotels, hundreds of thousands of people, like not at the game, but just all around. You're talking about Kern, that's crazy.
How much of a step up did it feel like from Sheffield United? Not disrespecting Sheffield United, which is a massive club in its own right, but this is the next level in terms of fervent fans, right?
So let's not even make it specific to Sheffield United. Just a step up in my whole career in general. After having a season in the Prem, just seeing those type of fans I'd never seen before. Obviously playing for the Turkish national team, I got in the Turkish national team only 4 months before that. Now to see what it was like on club level, I had no expectation. I saw obviously national team, but I'm not.
You don't expect that every week, right?
No.
That fervency was something that you went and dropped out into with national team. It went crazy,
but not in another country as well.
Yeah.
Like what? And it's not. And we're not talking about fans have travelled. Not one fan has travelled from Turkey.
They're all based in Germany, right?
They're all based either in Germany, France, whatever it is. Like, and this is the difference. Like all the clubs that I've played for abroad, there is no travelling fans. Their fans are in the cities where you're going. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like listen to what I'm saying. So even when I'm at Corinthians, for example, and we're playing in Bahia, yeah. So it's like a 4-hour flight, 3-hour flight, for example. The fans ain't travelling from Sao Paulo. These are Bahia Corinthians fans. So we're in Turkey. We're in Germany, and these are like Köln or München, as they say. You know, I like to get the words right.
The names right.
Right? It's their fan, like supporting Fenerbahce. And I'm like, this is mad. This is totally crazy, right? And then we start the game, and you just catch yourself like looking around at the atmosphere, like, okay, this is what I was playing football for.
Was it a reminder? Does it serve as a reminder those days whereby
it gets when it's tough?
You know, because on a week to week basis as well, football from being, when you make your debut and your grandparents are there and your neighbours are there as well, because you making your debut from your first steps to, later in your career becomes, you've got kids and everything like that. Is your wife coming to the game today? She might not even bother. You've got other stuff to do, right? So, but the final becomes the game where, you're going to wheel your grandparents out again. They're going to come along as well. It's an excuse for everybody associated with that club as well. Everybody behind the scenes too, all your technical staff, or your admin staff as well, who get to enjoy that day as well. And it lifts everyone, right?
Everyone. And then especially when you got the trophy after. This is what I'm saying. It's very hard to kind of describe that to people that haven't experienced.
Okay,
either.
did you ever lose a final?
Yeah.
Tell me the feeling.
If I was to say the feeling, we'd get barred before we got started.
What game was it? Because it still rankles with you today,
I've lost
right?
a few. I've lost a few.
The one the one which was felt most unjust then, because there's always going to be a decision in a final that doesn't go your way. Some of them can be more...
Yeah, it was Turkey. It was Fenerbahce against Galatasaray. I was on Fenerbahce that time. I think we played them in the Super Cup final. Not Super Cup final, the Turkish League Cup final. Yeah.
Still hurts.
Yeah, because it's another. Now especially, it hurts even more. Because it's something I would have had on my CV, on my legacy, on my career.
And when did you know? So
also Celtic, we lost as well.
So when in either of those games, is there a point where you're just thinking, it's not happening today? Either personally or collectively, where you're just thinking, of all days, not today.
Yeah, there are moments in a game, and that always runs through your mind. Listen, come on, it's not in the way of it's not happening today. Oh my God, and it's like, yo, it's not happening. Come on, you need to find a way right now. Like, what's going on? What we're doing, etc., etc. It's not working. What I'm doing personally, like Colin, it's not working. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Either trying to bring the ball down or whatever it might be, it's not working. You need to fix up. You need to change. Do you understand what I mean? So,
yeah, there we go.
He just decided just to stay right there and.
Well, that's what happens when you're in Lambeth at Brixton Radio Studios, available for hire. BrixtonRadio.com. Info.
No, is it not info?
Info at BrixtonRadio.com as well.
There you go. Bang.
Beautiful surrounds as well.
But yeah, so back onto the finals. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put into words. It's an accomplishment that if you're a family person as well. So like for me, my wife's coming on the pitch. My kids are on the pitch. Crazy.
Yeah,
it's just, man. I got pictures to this day. My son's in the cup.
Yeah.
He's in the cup. I'm holding the cup and I'm holding him. Like my daughter's there, like my wife, Turkish flag. I was looking at that picture yesterday. It's crazy. I might send it in to you. You can thumbnail it on. Do you understand what I mean? Like seeing your. For example, I'll wait till you guys. For example, this is a story, right? Being in Brazil, winning the Paulistão final, and seeing your national team flag in the stands, people waving it around.
Give us some context as well. So, you had, I think it was 20 transfers throughout your career. Okay, the average player is not doing 20 transfers, not willingly certainly, and also throughout this career you have played in many different countries, different cultures as well. I've always maintained that Brazil, for a foreign player, is arguably the most difficult place that they can go and play. And it's something that you achieved in your career as well, and something that I would never in a million years dream of any English-born player achieving. Why would they do it? You know, where does the opportunity come from? Where does it arise as well? So you're in Brazil. You are in a... these are maniacal fans, you know what I mean? These are proper... everybody in that area supports the club. So when you were in that kind of situation then, tell me about how you're identifying them with Turkey.
What do you mean, how I'm identifying?
So you're seeing the national flag.
Yeah. So like, first of all, when I first got there, obviously my wife is Brazilian, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I got kind of, well, not because my wife is Brazilian. You know, like growing up, Brazil was just Brazil. You know, watching national team, you know, look like me, similar. Oh my, you know, oh wow, you understand? And then the way they're playing.
And also, your career in Turkey exposed you to many Brazilian players.
So when I signed at Fenerbahce, half our team was Brazilian, because obviously the staff was Zico, all his staff, his brother Morassi, and then there was one other. So you got 4 Brazilian staff, and then you got 8 or 9 Brazilian players as well, even to the fact of Diego Lugano, who's from Uruguay. He is like a Brazilian also because he's made his whole career in Sao Paulo. Like, he's a Sao Paulo legend. Won the Club World Cup, etc. One of their best ever defenders. He's there, so he's talking Portuguese as well.
Yeah.
So it's like an infatuation of, that's where you are. That's what you're seeing every day. It's like,
yeah, that's a culture as well that you're into, because I suppose as well you group more with this collective, right?
of course, that's who I could relate to more, was them.
I suppose you were all foreign, right?
We're all foreign, but also like, even though I'm Turkish, my mum's Turkish Cypriot, and the Turkish boys that are there are from mainland Turkey, so there's a little bit of...
Still different, yeah.
It's different, even in the national team was a bit different, because now I'm more with the European Turks. For example, you know, it was quite tough at that time to the integration, you know, probably because, you know, politically, those that were born in Turkey, it was tougher for them to leave the country, you know, and play anywhere else. So they always seemed it as like maybe we was coming and taking spots or whatever it might be. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, politics within national teams
are crazy. People don't even know.
Yeah,
they don't even know. That's another whole episode. So yeah, when I got to Brazil, I had this natural connections with the Corinthians fans straight away, with the Curitiba fans, because I scored. Well, people don't know, I went to Curitiba first.
Yeah.
And my first touch of the ball, I scored in the biggest derby.
Helps.
Yep, that helps. And then I helped them stay in the league. You know, I was one of the main factors. I say that now because
you remember when Roque Santa Cruz came to Blackburn and did the similar thing over the course of the season?
They just loved him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He scored more than I scored at Curitiba, but I was very influential. You know, everything ran through me.
You brought your personality to the team.
Yeah, because I think when you're accustomed to something, you know what certain things entail, right? So for me, where I'm not accustomed to at that time to Brazilian football, you know, all the nervousness and the pressure.
Just to cut you there, when you're not accustomed to Brazilian football, how does it differ?
It differs to the point of whichever time the fans want to come into your training ground, they're coming into the training ground. Do you get what I'm saying?
You have to perform.
You have to perform. You know, and at that time in Curitiba, fans were coming into the training ground.
Were you aware of the cultural pressure from supporters before going to Brazil?
Yeah, I had
because I mean you've been in Turkey.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so I had
exactly.
Yeah, but the thing with Turkey that never ever happened. Tried, but never happened. They couldn't storm training grounds.
Yeah.
Brazil, they don't need to storm. They just knock on the door opens, there you go. You can have a meeting, the fans' bosses, the bosses of the fans who are the fan leaders, the president of the fan groups.
Mm-hmm. And how much power do they have within these clubs? How influential are they?
They're very influential because, apart from, I think, 5 or 6 teams in Brazil now, which is very new, they're not privately owned. They're voted in by the fans. You understand?
So you answer to the fans, essentially?
100%.
Okay.
100%. It's a 2-year term in Brazil, which is why, if you look at Brazil, there's no other country, maybe Mexico, who chop and change managers as quick as Brazil. I think at the start of this league this year, as we speak, after 2 games, managers were already fired. Because what people don't understand as well, to put context into it, is that in Brazil you play like state league.
Mm-hmm. To different levels of championship, right? You've got your more localized one.
Yeah, so you play your state league, which would be counties here. For example, we don't have states, so let's say it's a county.
Still but got very high level teams in them.
Man, high level teams. Some of those games are worse than playing in the Brasileirão.
Is that because it's a cup game in a league format?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of those teams are just made for the state league. So all the guys that have been let go from whatever clubs have come in to get seen, to put themselves back on the map.
So they're desperate. They're hungry for this.
Hungry. You understand? So if the coach didn't do well in the state league, his numbers are going into the actual league. So after the first game, the president's like, nah, listen, I'm not having another 2 months of what we've just had in the state league. But over here, we don't know that context. We're just seeing first game, manager's been chopped. You know what I mean?
How do you think Ange Postecoglou would get on in Brazil?
Ange did. You know what? I like what he did the other day. He made an interview about it. He did something. I saw it online the other day, and this is why he's a political genius.
Was it the one where he was talking about telly series or whatever it is?
No, he was talking about. I can't remember how it started, but he got on to talk about, because they asked him something. That's it. It was about Richarlison.
Mm-hmm.
They was talking about Richarlison, and he's like, yeah, he's had a tough da-da-da-da-da. And I think when it was Australia, they played somebody that was in Brazil, whatever it was, or South Korea, one of the two, and he was holding up a Vasco top.
Mm-hmm.
So they started talking to him. Oh, would you like to? And he's like, I don't know, mate. I don't know. Who knows? I might be a coach of Corinthians. You know, understand?
Yeah. Just joking around.
Yeah, he did it well. Do you know what I mean? So, I tell you now, and this is not personal to him. So let's take Ange out. If anyone had that domestic record that is there, that wouldn't run in Brazil.
Yeah.
No chance. This is no chance. Doesn't matter who you are. Bye. Straight.
Well, one gentleman whose domestic record has been pretty outstanding this season is Senor Luis Enrique. Recently seen on a PSG branded cherry picker, overseeing.
Amazing! I love that. I love it.
What is it? Is it just the sheer ballsiness of it as well to show off your branded cherry picker?
Luis Enrique, and this is what I want to put this out there. I've never really put it out there. Like coaching. I could go into Aldi tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I could throw a stone and it could hit somebody. Man, woman, child, whoever it is. Hopefully they're not knocked out. But
these things will happen. Yeah.
No, but seriously, and they will have an opinion how football should be played, who's a good player, who's not. Everybody does. That's the beautiful thing about football. Mm-hmm. Okay? There's no right way or wrong way to one individual. So when you hear people say, we should be playing football the right way, what's the right way? The right way is
to win.
Your perception, right? Is to win. And however you want to get there, if you're in charge of your team, is how you want to get there. Okay? What I think sets difference when you're a coach is when you got charisma, when you got personality, when you are quite philosophical in your thought process, with the empathy. And when you hear people like Luis Enrique, Don Carlo talk, it makes you want to play for these guys.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like, you know when you hear him talk about his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, someone said, you know, when he got to the Champions League final, someone asked him, "Are you not sad because your daughter's not here?" And he said, "Sad, sad. You know how lucky I am to have spent 9 years with my daughter. I'm so blessed. Like I got goosebumps just talking about." When you hear that, how can you stop someone like that?
I think that is the mark of a true manager, because coach is one thing for me,
Yeah,
and
totally
manager
agree.
is different. And I think at the very, very highest level, you have to be above all a manager.
100%. I totally agree.
Wenger's was one of the first one, basically positioned himself almost as the granddaddy of the team. Basically, was that he wasn't too close with the players in a collective sense, but he knew them all individually. He'd often go to see the players individually beforehand, much like Sir Alex Ferguson did. Fergie would come and watch you. He would come and pick you. He would select you as one of his players. That made you feel special. And I think that's, those are two qualities, certainly that Enrique and the Don as well, they both share. They're just normal. They're normal people. They are, they're affected by the same things. In a family situation, they've got the same issues that you or I would have as well. And they haven't lost sight of that. They've never lost sight of that. And I think that's why, to me anyway, when I've been, fortunate enough to be around these guys who have been so successful as well, they're just pretty normal. I think that there's some, often, football can make, I mean, you've been in football teams as well, whereby your teammates will be extremely well paid, they'll be young, athletic, attractive men, and they'll be off the rails. Do you know what I mean? There's no sense going on in them. They'll turn up occasionally on a Saturday and play quite well, but the rest of it is an absolute mess. So having that humility and that sort of keeping your feet to the ground as well has to be a benefit, no?
100%. A massive benefit. Like you know when you have a coach that's like that, right? And I call it, he's got you playing through disappointment. What I mean by that is you just don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
So even the fact when you're at home, you're thinking about it. You might have, like, someone might call you, "Do you want to come out?" And you're like, "Why, it's Thursday, got a game Saturday." And you're like, "Yeah, you know what? I won't have a drink." Well, I've never drank, right? So I don't drink anyway. But you're thinking to yourself, like, then you're thinking, "Nah, you know what? Lewis is so good to me. I ain't gonna disappoint." Now, you know what, bro? I'm alright. Do you understand what I mean? When you're working through that, when some managers work off of fear, you're gonna be like, you know what happens? What I always say, it's like, people can relate to this. When you're walking home and you got like the man them that's on the corner, whatever, and like you're walking home, you don't want to walk past him. You're like, oh my god, like, yo, like, what's good? What, you think you're too good to chill with the man them or whatever it might be? Like, no, cool. Go away. You know what? One of these days I'm gonna da. Yeah. It gets to a point where you're like, bro, you said you're gonna do it 100 times. You might as well do it, get it over with.
Yeah.
And then it's done. So what I mean by fear is that you're gonna be like, fuck, coach is gonna get on me anyway. Might as well go and do something. Do you see what I'm saying? I might as well go out. He's gonna get on me anyway, so.
Well, fear and respect are two different things, right?
This is what I'm saying. So, me, I'm the coach. I'm the type. Don't get me wrong, right? You might not have to respect me, but don't disrespect me and the team. So, what I mean by that is, there are rules set in place, right? I'm not just gonna be like, because I like you or whatever, you can get away with whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. But like through that disappointment, I don't want to disappoint you. It goes.
It's a different starting relationship as well. So, have you had coaches who you believe just try and coach or try and manage through fear then?
100%.
So what kind of tactics would that be? If you're just giving me a generic overview, what kind of things would they do to try and instill it? And who do they target? Is there a target? Is it a group thing? How does it work?
It's not so much of a fear you know what? Let me rephrase. It's not so much of fear. It's like trying to dominate.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Dictatorship, right?
Dictate. Yeah. It's like coming in there, and I find it more with new typey managers.
Young managers, would it be fair to say?
Young in context of age or young in career? Both.
Possibly both, yeah.
Both. All right.
Because, I mean, it's a hard job to do, right? You've got to go in and you have to very, very quickly...
It is a hard job, but do you know what happens? You get found out very quick.
Yeah.
Like, very quick. I mean, like, within 20 minutes, you can get found out. Like, you walk in there and you just know, you know what? He's not the guy.
You've had this happen, clearly, right? You've had situations whereby the managers walk in...
But you know what it is? It just seems fake. You understand? Like, you come in, you're not that guy, and all of a sudden, rah, 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 and you just be like... It's like, you're like, hold on, no. Where's that come from? Like, has that been...
You're my favourite player, I've always wanted to sign you.
Right, but then in front of everybody...
Neil Warnock's side, by the way. His favourite line was always just like, you're a great player, I tried to sign you.
So, let's not start on Neil. Hey, Neil, great man-to-man coach, you know, I'm telling you.
He's a lovely, lovely human being.
Not coach, manager.
Yes, great manager.
But I've had guys that have come in and now have tried to use younger players as scapegoats, like really get on them, yeah? And where I've been an experienced pro, I've like gone to the coach, listen, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Was it a naivety from the coach in understanding that if you're going to pick on the weakest in the bunch, you're not necessarily going to be respected?
I think it was more of a situation where he don't really want confrontation, so let me try and have it with someone that's not going to give me something back. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if I have it out with, I don't know, Colin, for example, he might actually come back at me, but actually with sense.
Yeah, he might come back with a couple more bites as well, which
you understand, which now
it's
going to be difficult for me not just to manage, but to overcome with the group. Because you got to remember, right? There was a lot of people like they see like the captain's armband on people, but you know what? He might not actually be the captain. He might need that to perform. Do you understand? Like, have that. He's got a sense of responsibility, and now it's giving him a, I can.
It gives him an extra little boost.
There might be another guy.
Personally,
this is what I mean.
There's somebody else who doesn't ever speak at all on the pitch, doesn't say anything, but just needs to look in the dressing room,
right?
And everyone knows.
And the guys, like, they respect him. He's the guy. He's the one that, you know, like, arm round, stands up for them when the coach is, listen, totally wrong, or also tells them when they're wrong. Like, listen, you're letting yourself down. Like, you need to fix up, right?
There's also, there's also experienced players. And if you're looking at any team and, you've got a group of players and the majority, the mass is over 28 or over 30 years old as well, how much managing do these guys need?
It's a good question. It's more of facilitating.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you want to do is you kind of, if you're a coach and you're sure of yourself, you know what characters you want around.
Yeah.
So now what you need to do is bring those characters in and then facilitate it.
Yeah.
You don't need to, me personally, when I was 34 and that, right? You're facilitating. What you want on the pitch is what you want on the pitch. 100% I believe in that.
Yeah.
Right? What you want, no matter whether you're 34 or 22, coach, this is what the coach wants. Now you've got to try and go out and do it. Hear that. But managing them around and managing how they are and their character, you don't need to do so much when you've got an experienced pro and you've brought him in. You can't now, you've brought him in and now you're upset with his character, but you knew what that was. Because sometimes what people don't understand, right, to be a winner, people like the idea, but they don't understand what it actually entails.
Well, I think, the Jordan documentary, I think, was quite fascinating as well for anybody who was obsessed with basketball as a kid like I was. Guy's a winner. He's an absolute winner. But he has, from his teammates' perspective, as a nice human being or as a friendly guy, no, none of that. None of that. So you would sometimes assume that by having that kind of character in a dressing room could be a negative thing. But if the guy's a winner, surely it's got to help.
You don't always need to be liked to be good at what you're doing.
I think maybe
So
Thierry
don't
Henry is possibly the closest sort of comparison that we have of a player who did everything that they possibly could do to reach that level. Henry was really, really on it. Anything that they could do to get some sort of mental edge or anything like that, he was on it. So
What about Patrick?
Patrick as a character was Doudou. Nice guy. Friendly guy. Arguably, his persona didn't necessarily reflect how he was as a human being. Because Patrick was an intelligent guy as well. So I think a lot of that was reflected in his game, but he was a competitor, but I wouldn't say that everything, about Patrick off the pitch was necessarily derived into being a better player. He was a leader quite naturally. He had this physique as well. When he walked into a room, you saw him, right? But he was never it wasn't like a Roy Keane character. It was very, very different.
I tell you, for me, who was like that I've seen with my own eyes, away from me, but even more off the pitch, meaning like everything was geared to like match day.
Mm-hmm.
Felipe Melo. Till this day, like just everything is geared towards his job. Everything. Come home, what he would eat, what he would do, right? Recovery, need to be in bed by this. I've got this physiotherapy coming round. I'm having this massage on this day. I'm doing Pilates on this day. I'm just focused. And if you are not at a certain level that he is expecting on the pitch during training, he's gonna let you know. He'll probably come around and smash you. That's him telling you, like, do you get what I mean?
So you got Felipe Melo there, who you would describe as the consummate professional in that sense. If you take somebody like Jamie Vardy famously will have a Red Bull, for example, as match preparation, some gummy bears, whatever the hell it is. How much do you ascribe to the fact that what is good for you, what works for you mentally in your preparation for the game works for you mentally, as long as you do what you can do on the pitch? So that worked for Felipe Melo. Do you think if you followed, for example, that kind of preparation for a game, would it have changed your game? Would it have elevated you?
So I know where you're getting at. So, for example, it might not have worked for me, it might not work for you, but what it won't do is make you worse.
Yeah.
I think when you
will never have any negative effect from looking after yourself and eating right. Yeah.
So where you're getting at with the Jamie Vardy situation, that certain stuff that he does, it's not going to work at all for other people, but it could affect you as well.
Well, that's it. Listen, some people are fussy eaters. They just don't like the healthy food that is on offer to them at clubs as well. So once they leave the club, they will immediately go and buy some fast food from somewhere.
Yeah.
So, if they're being, really good, they'll go to Chipotle because it's not a burger. But the reality, as a young player as well, it's just a facility. You've got the ability to go and do it as well. But I think, I've worked with a number of club doctors, and a lot of them were saying to me, listen, I don't know how your body feels. So how am I going to tell you when you're ready? I was like, well, it's a good point, actually. He goes, if you feel good, you feel good. Well, I can't tell you any different.
That was one of the things that was like coming up through my career was I understood very well about my body.
Mm-hmm.
And it was hard for certain people, like S&C coaches and second coaches or whatever. And I'm like, no, that's not working for me. I don't feel... So, for example, if we had to do gym on a Thursday, for example, we got a game Saturday or Sunday, I'd be like, I'm not doing gym.
You're going to be
It'll
tired,
be an argument.
right?
So I'd do gym if I was doing legs, and it's very rare anyway, but if I was doing legs on a Thursday, I would literally start feeling it on the Sunday.
Yeah, 2 days afterwards.
That's when I'm bad.
And tired.
My hamstrings would just be...
Lack of power.
Nothing in me. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when you're a young guy, they don't expect you to understand. They know more. But I was always in the thing, but I know myself. Like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to tell you not to...
Did that cause internal issues for you?
Yeah. At times it did. At times, certain people took it as, you know, oh, he knows everything. Oh, he just don't want to train. I'm like, look, give me anything else. What do you want me to do? Go out and do that? No problem. But I'm not doing specific leg weights. Do you understand what I mean? So I totally get what you're talking about. But the problem that you have is when everybody else now thinks they can do what you're doing now. Now it becomes a problem, innit? Do you understand what? In the aspect of when it's affecting everyone else and the team, you might not personally think it is.
It's also how you express it. If you're all called out as a group on the Thursday and you're doing that, you're saying, and you're like, no, I'm not doing this. This is rubbish. This is not.
I'd still be there. Don't get me wrong. I'm
Yeah.
not saying like F your gym and da-da-da.
Yeah.
No. Okay, let's make another one. Maybe I can do uppers. Maybe I can do body weight stuff, whatever it might be. But deadlifting,
exactly.
deadlifting, squatting on a Thursday. We got a game on a Sunday. Like, it's not working for me. I'm sorry, but I'm still there. Don't get me wrong. I'm in the gym. I'm not sitting inside or going home while everyone's in the gym. That's not what I'm talking about. But I just think everything has to be. It can't all just be generalized. We're all so different.
Yeah.
You know, I played at 98, 99 kilos, and most of my career I was 9% body fat. So what? We're not the same. Me pushing 20 kilos on a squat or 40 kilos on a squat.
Very different for somebody who's
but we're all generalized. Do you understand
5'7",
what I mean?
yeah.
So that's the only thing. But the thing with what you're saying about there are certain things like what if you was to follow what Felipe was doing, it's not going to make you no worse.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some things that some players do that works for them, which it could be a detriment to another player. So now that's when the problem comes in. So 4 or 5 Red Bulls. Like Jamie Vardy, for example, if it was that, I'm just saying because everyone knows that he just loves a Red Bull, right? That could be a problem for someone like, I don't know, Tim, who's 17, 18 in the team. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now that's where that comes into.
Different thing. One player who has had, a bit of an epiphany of a season as well is Monsieur Dembele. He is currently among the favourites for the Ballon d'Or. I don't know who could have predicted that.
I don't know either.
But
it's never been seen.
We have, a few talented players in the Paris forward line ahead of the Champions League final with Inter Milan. Paris, I think, when they ahead of the Liverpool game, said that one of the finalists, the winners of the competition, were going to come from that game. It's going to really, really, really hurt you, but I'm right, aren't I? PSG are going to win this.
Yeah, I think I would go with PSG also. But just quickly before we go on to that, what we just were speaking about, don't you think Dembele's put on a individual kind of program that benefits him and his situation and his injuries that he's had and making him feel good and making him mentally feel good and putting him in a situation where he's comfortable now to go and express himself? Or do you think he's just been generalised? Here, there you go.
I think there's a number of elements that have changed Dembele's season and career. You know what I mean? Again, if you're looking, he had a number of very, very big transfers from Rennes to Dortmund to Barca. And he had a huge price tag. And I think, as Coutinho found out as well, it's really difficult to replace Messi. You've had one of the greatest players in history, if not the greatest, depending upon your view. Go on, go and do his job. And it's a completely different position. Completely different player as well. They're not going to be doing the same sort of thing. So I think one of the fundamental things that he is in his hometown, back in Paris, back in France. I think that he had, in any relationship, there needs to be conflict. We always see conflict as being a negative thing in society. If there's a conflict, there's negative connotations about it. People aren't getting on. Something happens. There's a point of an impasse. You know what I mean? There's always percussive conflict. I personally think that conflict is something that, when properly applied, can bring you much, much closer together. And Dembele had a falling out with Enrique. Wasn't played, at the start of the season. They weren't getting on at all. And they've obviously had this point of friction. I don't know any more than that, but they've got out of it. And I think that when you have a Barney with someone, if you and I have a bust-up, and then, and we really believe in what we're saying, we're having a really, really good argument, shall we say, a passionate, heated argument as well. If that gets resolved afterwards, I probably have more respect for you.
Isn't that based off of the relationship we have, though, right? So
there has to be a fundamental respect to that relationship.
There you go, and that's where I'm talking about. That's where it comes in. There's no way we have a bust up. Like I give you a situation. What's his name? And I'll say it now. Is it Diella?
Ronnie Della.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and him had a big
Scandinavian coach who came into Celtic, right?
Me and him had a big bust up. And there was no way for me it could ever be reconciled. And I was not hearing anything because we didn't have that relationship. Everything you were saying, it was personal. Do you understand what I mean? It wasn't constructive, or it wasn't trying to make me or the team better. It was egotistical from you. So now you can't talk to me anymore. Do you understand what I mean?
That's where listen, what I'm thinking is that enough time has elapsed so you can give me a little bit more information on this.
What had happened?
So, set the scene. We're at Celtic.
Okay, I'll give you it like this.
European Giants, we're at Celtic, Parkhead, 60,000 seater stadium. You've transferred there.
So, all right, here, I'll give it to you. And people might think that I'm in the wrong.
But it's just happened.
No. Right? I'll tell you, right. So it had nothing. So I want to put it out there as like this. This is what had happened, right? All week, Monday, Tuesday starting, Thursday, Friday starting, and all the meetings starting, everything. On a Saturday, we normally have we stay at the we come for breakfast at the hotel. We go up to our rooms, come back down, blah blah blah. Have the team meeting at the hotel before we go to Celtic Park. Excuse me. So come down to the meeting, starting, everything's done. The week before, I just scored against Hibs to basically we'd won the league.
Yeah.
I'd scored, had a good game. Come into the meeting, everyone going to Colin, can you wait there? You know, when he said that, I just knew. I knew. And mind you, before that, he's not like a
hands-on manager.
Not so much like a hands-on. He's not a man-to-man, talk to you like how you the kind of manager, which is cool.
Yeah.
But then,
each to their own. Each has their own style.
Each to their own. But then what I mean is, there's consequences to that, right? There's trade-offs to that, right? As there's trade-offs to everything. So he stops me and he goes, all right, can I talk to you? So cool. This is literally 2 minutes before meeting. He's going, yeah, you're not starting. I looked at him. I was fuming. Fuming.
In that moment,
yeah,
he tells you you're not starting. You're expecting it now, right?
No, but everyone knows.
Everyone knows apart from you.
No, everyone knows that I'm starting. It's Monday. The team's been the same team since Monday.
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday,
you say
Thursday,
everyone
Friday.
knows. Everyone knows. Everyone believes you're starting, but Ronnie Delia, he knows you're not. So when he's called you, when he's pulled you, you're thinking you're not thinking he's going to give me a birthday present or he's going to give me
no,
hey,
Cole, straight away.
So you know
that second
in that second that he was talking to you. I'm not starting.
Yeah.
And that starts the blood starts to heat up.
But do you want to know why though? Because it's not about starting or not starting. You're the coach. Fine. You play who you want to play. Do you get what I'm saying?
So if on Wednesday, for example,
this is what I'm saying.
He goes, Cole, just have a swap with this guy.
Thursday, you come to me. Friday, whatever. I ain't got a problem. But when you call me an hour and a half before the game, and we got a meeting now 2 minutes before the game, everyone's in there now, like I'm outside, and now you say, yeah, you're not starting. That's how he said it to me, yeah, you're not starting. So I just walked off. So I walked off, and what I mean by walked off, I walked into, because it was literally at the door of the meeting.
He tells you,
yeah, you're not
starting.
You're not starting. I've just
Straight
walked
through.
into the meeting.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And he's like, yo, come back. I'm like, so now we're in front of everybody. Now I'm like,
now you have. That was a mistake, was it? Now you have an audience because you've got the door open.
yeah, he should have just
You're
left
leaning
it.
on the door.
He should have just left it like that. He should have. Now there's everyone in there. Now it's like, don't get me wrong. So looking back on it in hindsight now, me as a coach as well, what would I do? I would have just let me sit down. You're not starting anyway. I'm not being disruptive. I just not let you finish. Because we're men.
You don't need that little win.
No, I don't need you to be like, you're not starting because this and because that. I swear on my brother's grave, if he would have came Thursday and said to me, you're not starting on Friday, I don't need a reason. Okay, cool. No problem, boss.
The choice is your choice. There is
Done.
a choice to make, and it's happened. It's not, whatever.
Fine. But the way you did it, right there, right then, I didn't want to hear your, because, I'm maybe thinking about putting Patrick there or putting Callum over there or what. Oh, please, bro. Miss me with that. Yeah. Like, leave me with that. Do you understand? So I've just walked in and now he's like, don't just walk away from me. Now I'm like, my bro, stop it. Stop it. No, stop it. Don't do that. I've looked at him. Listen, I've turned around now and I've gone, what more do you want to say? That's what I said. You told me I ain't starting. That's it. I don't need an excuse, a reason. Told me I'm not starting. Fine. Leave me alone. Like that. Sat down. Oh, he's going on.
So he's basically carrying on.
He's carrying on. I'm carrying. So at the end, I just said, you know what?
Here, so you're carrying on in front of the whole team at this point.
Everybody, team, coach, everybody's in there, and I've just turned around. You know what? Shut up. Stop talking now.
It's a punctuation mark on a conversation, that one, isn't it? If you're around these areas and you invite somebody on the street to shut up as well, it's fairly terminal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Like,
so in that moment, did you accept as well when you told the gaffer to shut up?
I know my consequence. I knew.
Was there a quick salute as well as you went? A little high five.
Nah, you're putting sugar. He's putting sugar on top. That's not what happened. But I knew that was basically gonna be the final whatever, right? So after the meet, he does the meeting. Well, his second coach does the meeting. He's spewing at the back. Like, he's all red and like he's pissed off. But at the point, it's not player and coach now. It's two men now. And it would be best for you just to leave me alone. Mm-hmm. You understand? He did. Get on the bus, go there, and just, I'm not even in the squad now. Cool. Not even in the squad. Off Sunday, come in Monday. This is what I mean. And this is what I don't respect. I've come in Monday now and like getting changed and whatever, go out to training, and he sent someone to come and tell me, oh, you're not training with the team, you're on your own. So I'm like, no, I'm not on my own. And plus, if you want me to be on my own, tell him to come and tell me. They said, he's not going to come down. So I'm like, I'll go up to his room then. So I've gone up to his office, knocked on the door, I've waited. I'm not rude. You understand what I mean? I'm not rude.
Everything's controlled at this time.
At this point, but I'm not rude anyway. It's just, if we're in confrontation, I'm going to win that confrontation. But we're in a confrontation, so you can't be rude in a confrontation. Do you understand? If we're arguing and we're arguing with each other, like, what's the point of an argument? The argument is to get your point across and to win, right? That's the argument. Yeah, not that any of us do with our wives, but yeah. So I've knocked on the door. I've not busted in the door or nothing like that. I've not been rude or whatever. And like he said, right, come in. I'm like, so I've shut the door, but I'm standing at the door now. I don't want to sit down. I've just come in. I'm like, what's this about? I'm training on my own. And like, he's not looking at me now. Like, he doesn't want the confrontation because there's not an audience now. It's me and him. So you get found out now. It's two men in a room on their own, and you get found out very quick now. There's not an audience where now you're coach. You're
puffing yourself out.
You understand? And
can I just ask as well, the fact that he gave you the news just before the team meeting on the day of the game as well suggests, for me anyway, a very, very late change of mind. in the coach. So he's got his team, right? And you've been in shape work all week as well. You're starting as a striker, basically. You know that. Every other player who played in those positions started, right?
Yeah, everyone. It
So
just wasn't me.
But except for you. And that to me suggests, okay, he's had a last-minute change of heart. Can happen, Friday night, he's going to bed, he's worrying, where my goal is going to come from? I'm going to have a change. So does the fact that somebody doesn't know their team necessarily in advance of a game, does that affect your respect for them as well? If he's still changing his mind like 5 minutes
The only
beforehand.
thing that I was pissed off with, it weren't that I'm not playing. Obviously, you're not playing, innit? You understand, as a player, you want to play.
But if he knew his team from the Wednesday, right? If he knew his team, and that's what I'm going to do because that's me, and that's what I'm going to do, and out of those two players there, if there's a fitness test, different thing maybe. In which case you'd understand it a little bit more. But I just think that if you don't know who your starting striker is before the day of the game, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, no,
and it's
some coaches are like that,
It's going to give rise to these situations which cause conflict between managers and players.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is some coaches are like that. They don't say the team till you get into the changing room. Okay? But that's where now you create your environment, right? You create the environment that you want. And if you don't
if he didn't tell you ahead of time, if Ronnie had
it would have been better. He didn't say nothing.
And he just didn't say anything to you, because he doesn't have to tell you.
No,
right?
but this is what I'm trying to explain to you.
So why would a manager bother?
But this is what I'm saying. What he didn't even need to say I weren't starting. I could have got to the change room. What am I going to do? Walk out? Excuse me. What am I going to do? Right before the game, kick off with him? Of course not. I'm going to have to hold that. That would have been the best thing for him to do.
So much better.
But because you know what it is? Forget it, whatever. He's that guy that wants to be. You see, when we're talking before, he's the guy that wants to show, you know what? I sat Colin down. Because he did it to Tyler Blackett. You can go, it's all there. He did it to Tyler Blackett, called him a CUNT in training. They come to nearly have blows, right?
Tyler's a calm guy as well, right?
This is what I'm saying. Tyler Blackett, I'm saying this now, Big T, one of the nicest guys ever. You speak to anybody, the nicest guys ever, and he was pushing his button, and then called him a CUNT in front of everybody again.
Okay.
Right?
And he's not, by the way. He's really not. He's a nice guy.
Listen, Tyler is, you know what? I haven't spoke to Tyler in a while. If I call Tyler today and he's around and I say to him, bro, can you pick up my son from school? Like, I'm going to be, he'd do it.
Yeah.
Tyler is a top guy. Right? I won't go into the in and outs, but
that I suppose fundamentally as well, it's those actions from this particular manager as well that has forged your relationship with him. If there's
everybody's relationship.
Yeah. Because
if you can do this is what the conversation in our changing room was like, bro. If he can do that to Tyler don't talk, Don't talk. He's not one of them where I say like don't talk, but he's still on. Like Tyler is just humble, relaxed, came from Man United on loan. Young pro
and normal, by the way, as well.
Listen,
sometimes
man,
there can be a bit of an affected attitude when a young player comes.
Frustrated that he weren't playing a little bit, probably, but he wasn't frustrated that it's the communication skills, the communication and the relationship you make, and the way you're treating someone. Not just because you're a footballer doesn't mean you can be treated like shit. Mm-hmm. All right, and just because you're a coach don't mean you can treat people like SHIT. Do you understand what I'm saying? So. That's to put that out there. Don't think I've just come on and like, oh my God, didn't know. That's where he was at. So I didn't need to hear what he was going to say, because if he's thinking he's going to do that to me, it's going to go somewhere that none of us is going to like. And that's where it got to when I got in his office. So now he's not looking at me, he's looking at the floor, and he's saying, because now how the office was, it's glass and everybody outside can see.
I don't know why every modern football club as well, the ones I've worked in, all your offices are glass. How do you have a private conversation? It's so difficult. Everyone knows. Everyone in the club can see from the training pitch as well. They can see, he's in the manager's office.
You could see it from the gym. So you couldn't see it from the
Why do they design these places like that? Madness.
And then everybody else's office is outside his. It's an open office. He's the only one that's closed, and they can all see in. So now everyone's there, and it's getting irate in there now. Because I'm like, why are you not? So I'm saying stuff like. What's with the attitude? I've come up here to talk to you. You said I'm training on your own. I'm just here to tell you, like, you need to tell me. Well, what am I telling you? Like, nah, he's not looking at me though, but he's being kind of.
Did that frustrate you even more?
Yeah, it's frustrating me a little bit because
purposefully trying to.
No, do you know what? It wasn't because of that.
No time,
it's because it's not because of that. Let me explain to you why. It's because how you act outside. I need you to act like that now. Don't now come with that like victim. I'm not looking at you now, and I'm nervous.
You're being aggressive, Colin. Don't be aggressive. Go come in here
and
be aggressive.
This is where it got to. Now you're being aggressive, and I always say they love to use that term.
Where's HR?
Right?
Where's HR?
No, but that's what happened. So I've left there. I've told him, listen, I ain't training on my own. That's not happening for what happened. Train on your own for what? It's crazy. And now you're in there, and like that was more heated words than that. Like you understand? Walk out. I promise you, I kid you not, yes, Seb, within 5 minutes, get this number ringing my phone. I'm like, hello? Hello, is this Mr. Kazim Richards? I'm like, speaking. Who's speaking? Yeah, this is HR from Celtic. We're coming down, we're coming to this training ground. We need to speak to you. I said, what is this? What this guy, who's Mr. Viking, yeah, to everybody else.
Warrior spirit, yeah.
You understand? Which I can respect, right?
You can respect when it's not just.
You've gone and called. I've never seen HR, and I've been in some situations, yeah, where it's been fists, and I've never seen HR.
I've never known HR to be involved in the football side of things.
This is what I'm saying. HR comes, and do you want to know something that's crazy? For my protection, I recorded the whole thing, and some things that he was saying was just crazy. It wasn't that. So I had to tell HR, look. So they was like, yeah, what we're gonna do is, and I was like, look, let me just put this on the table, because there's only like, I think there was 10 days left. All I want to do is celebrate with my family on the last game of the season, which was at home, strip up, take pictures with my family and my teammates, and walk around. Anything else, I'm not really bothered by. So if you want me to kind of stay at home and then come in on the Friday or the Saturday, whenever the game was, that's fine.
Yeah.
And I spoke to Peter Lowry, and he was like, yeah, that's top. We'll do it like that. And then that's what happened. So I came in, and then there was never a problem. Nobody knows this story. It's crazy. Only the boys that were at Celtic. And if they don't believe me, they can talk to Scott Brown, because Brownie couldn't believe it at the time. It was like this guy was... Yeah. I'm not going to make it personal, but that is exactly what happened.
It's a good job, because coming up on next week's podcast, Ronnie...
Hey, listen, we've all grown since then. Yeah, you know, and this is what I keep saying. Is like I like to say, like we're all individual people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we all have certain things that go on in our life, and we have certain principles. You know, like I said, and I want to state this: he didn't never have to tell me I wasn't starting. But then if you're going to tell me, then do it correctly. But you didn't have to. And also, you didn't need to give me a reason. You told me you weren't starting. Okay, cool.
Just bizarre.
I promise you it's crazy.
What I find strange as well is that prior to that, I take it that he's not your favourite guy, but then you're still playing.
Yeah, here and there. Like, listen, I was playing here and there. I wasn't his starter, but by then I like kind of.
Who was starting then?
Who was starting was, what's his name? He's like one of the top goal scorers in history. What's his name? Little plays for Scotland, left footed. Lee Griffiths.
Okay.
Lee Griffiths, yeah.
You're different players then. Different,
and plus he wasn't playing me striker. He was playing me right or left.
Okay.
At the time, right?
Did he sign you?
Did he sign me? What they did to get me there was crazy. Like flew me over and this and that, and then it turns out like that. That's another thing that I just don't get. But you know what? That's all. I can't talk about that because that's like now trying to get into the mind of his. You understand like why he did it? I'm just saying
but
what I didn't
that's the thing, because I
respect.
mean, listen, if he's sometimes, you know, I've been in situations whereby I've been in the club, a new manager comes in and he is not having a lot of the squad. So if there is an opportunity for him to machinate an exit, or if a player's going to go because they have a fallout, so what? No problem. But this is not with the players that they've brought in themselves. So he brought you in.
Yeah, he brought me in. He brought me in the end of middle of January from Feyenoord.
I love you. 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 I don't like you.
Type of thing. He brought Tyler in as well.
You just bring in players and just. Was that his whole MO basically? What do you want, Ronnie? I want to bring in a team. I want to recruit this window players that I can purely destroy and slag off.
Nah, he couldn't destroy me though. That was the tough part. That would have been tough. But it was more the aspect of, look, you're the coach. That's fine. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I just want to put this point across. You're the coach. You play who you're going to play. Of course, we're going to be peed off. We're going to be thinking, but as a player, you have to be professional about it. Is what it is. But I don't need your excuses. Mm-hmm. I don't need your reason. I'm not playing.
Your excuses irritate me quite a lot, yeah.
It will irritate me. So, you know what? Cool.
Yeah.
And then you try to go the back way and call HR and whatever, but you're this big, big macho man.
Yeah, you don't.
And now we had a little bit of an argument.
You expect it to be able to be resolved within the four walls of his office.
That's it. And listen to this though. Do you want to know? Do you want to know what's crazy? Why I went in his office as well? Why now I just disregard him? Is because this was after the fact, right? He knew he weren't staying. So why are you now trying to get HR to mess? I had 3 years. So now he knew he weren't staying. That had already been 2 weeks. At the end of the season, Ronnie's blah blah blah, and then you purposely tried to get HR to try and
just to give you problems, to try and make your life more difficult.
But you're this big macho guy, right? You're this guy
you're only here for a holiday now.
So this is what I'm saying. Why.
So that's why it felt a lot more personal, right?
Yeah.
Wowzers.
Crazy.
Well, three other players who from their parent club at the moment, Manchester United. Anthony.
I like that little segue.
Anthony, Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho. How, if you're in that situation, so you're clearly not wanted by Manchester United. None of those three players are. We're hearing, for example, that Rashford has been linked with Barcelona. Good move.
Great move.
Anthony, don't think is going to be within Betis' financial reach.
No, but he's just been called into the national team.
He has. And Sancho we've got as well, who... struggling, right?
That one's kind of mind-boggling to me, though. I just think so much more has to be done on the Sancho part.
From whose perspective? From
everyone,
the player, from the club? From
everyone's perspective. Everyone's perspective. Him as well. Yeah, and I'll tread carefully because obviously I have a little personal relationship with Jadon through a cousin of mine.
Cousins, you're literally related to everybody in London via your cousins. That's what I found.
No. And what I mean, it's more of when we see each other, it's very, very cordial, very, I hope you're good, anything you need type of thing, which he doesn't. But I just think both aspects, man. You can't have someone with that type of ability. Like, do you see when he come on yesterday?
Yeah. I mean, I think he needs regular minutes. What Dortmund gave him.
But this is what I'm saying. So what does Dortmund do that we can't do over here?
They play a 4-3-3. Simple as that. For me, the big issue with all of these players in Amorim's team is that they don't necessarily fit.
Not just Amorim though, Chelsea as well. What? Not just Chelsea. I mean, just
listen,
England in general.
The Chelsea thing with Jadon Sancho is you're always onto a loser. Why? Because you're a lone player at a club that did not need a lone player. It didn't need any players in that position. They still don't need players in that position.
What I don't like about forget Amorim right now. What I don't like about the situation which Ten Hag left him in was that he's got a bad character, right? Don't you think that's the reference mark?
There is with Jadon a bit of a spikiness that's presented, I think.
I think personally, Jadon's made mistakes. But what 21, 22-year-old doesn't make mistakes, man? He's not made a mistake that you can never come back from. He's not had a drink driving, or let's not even talk about the other type of stuff, right? Like something that you know what?
Yeah. And he's still making Chelsea. Chelsea have seen enough in him.
But this is what I'm saying. He's made normal, not normal, because I think you know what it is. You need to learn when you make certain mistakes, right? And maybe that's his downfall. He hasn't learned from mistakes that he's made, right? But he's made kind of a young pros mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you had to write down a list of mistakes that young pros make, those mistakes are there. It's not like a mistake where he's
almost. I'm sorry. It's like a badge of honour, to be honest with you, as a footballer as well. These things that you do.
You know,
you'll make your one of them for me personally is your car badge. Every single footballer that I know, bar one, will make a mistake with the car. It will be costly. They will think they want it. They find out they don't want it. But I mean, listen,
But why does that? You see what irritates me a little bit. Why, as a coach, does that bother you?
Well, one of the things that I wrote down for today was something that sort of surprised me quite a lot. Is the change in acceptance of players and their individuality. So, I remember when I started playing football in my teens, white boots came out. Pantofolo d'Oro released the white boot. I worked in a sports shop. Those puppies were mine. And I remember after wearing those white boots, people were commenting, "You better be a special player to wear white boots." Why? Why do I have to be a special player because I'm wearing white boots? I also later, as well, when I was experimenting with more personality hair, I would call it. I got the old mohawk with a rat's tail as well. It was a very, very special hairdo at the time. And again, there are certain judgments that are made from you as well. You know, David Beckham when he got his skinhead. Alex Ferguson was really pissed at him. Why? What bearing does the length of the follicles on your head have to you to be able to apply yourselves properly at a job? And it doesn't.
I know. I had that as well with my kids when we moved to different countries. So my kids got a lot of hair, you know, and a lot of the schools in Mexico are Catholic schools.
Yeah, I went to one of those as well. You're not allowed anything. No personality.
They tried to tell me that he had to cut his hair.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Show me, if you can scientifically prove factually that having long hair means you have a lesser chance of learning, and having short hair you have a higher chance of learning, I cut off his hair.
And you're still waiting for that scientific evidence.
I'm still waiting. He still has long hair. So what I mean by that is that why?
So if Jadon goes one, he'll get back playing.
No, see, you're trying to banter. But a serious question for me, because obviously we all know, one day I will be a head coach. But I hope this doesn't affect. But I'm just going to say, why does it bother? You know, like if someone has a top knot, someone has braids, someone has a Bentley, someone selling books, whatever it might be, as long as they are coming in and being professional, yeah, and being committed.
Can I answer that?
Yeah.
Fake humility. People pretending to be humble, and they're not. So I believe that within football as well, particularly in the media as well, a post-match interview, sorry, I don't listen to them at all.
Yeah.
Because they don't tell me anything at all.
Do you know who says that the most?
Go on.
You know, Chris Gale.
Okay.
You know Chris Gale?
Yeah.
If you read his book, he always...
So this is the more cousins of yours that are involved in
Nah.
sports as well,
That's not my cousin at all.
Uncle, sorry.
Nah, it's not my uncle either. The universe, he calls himself the universe boss, yeah? Chris Gale, I think everyone would say one of the best batsmen of all time.
Yeah.
I read his book and he says the biggest culture difference we have here compared to Jamaica is that. So for example, in Jamaica, when let's say he hits 150 balls off of, I don't know, 20 overs, right? And let's say it was T20, yeah? He says he's expected in this country to be like, yeah, my team did well, you know, thank you team for allowing me to da-da-da-da-da-da. But when he's in Jamaica, he's like, nah, I did that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, today my team was able to win because of me.
You know, and that's the thing, okay, when you score a beautiful goal, it makes you really happy. Especially if it's a beautiful goal, you know what I mean? And at the end of the game, if you're there, so the difference being, so if you had microphones in the players' lounge, actually after the game, when you're with your family and the real questions get asked as well, it would be so different. It's like, you know, what did you make of your performance today? Well, actually, after the game, I remember speaking to the player and I said, Christ, your right back was awful today. How many times did you have to cover for them as well? You did 10 times more the work of normal. You don't say that in the post-match interview. You say, yeah, I think we worked really well together today. We had to fight hard, but it was great. You didn't say, yeah, I'm going to have a word with a gaffer because he's murders. You know, every single time he's dropping his man, he's leaving me exposed.
But don't you think that's because of in all types of work, especially sports specific over here, the guy that looks to be working hard, we appreciate that more. So, for example,
do you know what the secret is? Move your hands faster. And the legs follow.
What about boxing? A guy's got knocked out in the 10th round, like he's sleeping, and he gave it a good 9 rounds. But we're not talking about the guy that just knocked him out. Do you understand? We like to do that a lot. Like, he worked hard today, didn't have the best game, but he worked really hard. Working hard is
this not cultural though? We go back to
very
it as well,
cultural.
Wherein and it's the more you go outside of England, you realise that the idiosyncrasy here is that, and you'll hear it on a touchline as well, not necessarily in professional, but more grassroots. Come on, more effort, work harder. We need to work hard. It's like, no crap, Sherlock. Of course, yeah, we do need to work hard, but over here, it's
the metrics
giving more credence. Like, as opposed to like the technical player who's like Berbatov, I adore Berbatov because he's got sanguine. You know what I mean? He plays lazy.
Who's got a better touch, Berbatov or Bergkamp?
Oh,
leave that one there. Anyway, go back to what you were saying.
Well, no, but we do as a culture. Basically, we reward the plucky fighter, the hard worker. You know, you'll get rewarded. He was absolutely useless, but he worked his nuts off, and that's all we ask as supporters. I think, you know, as a football fan, as long as they're trying everything that they can do, they're okay. Is that fair or?
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think.
Whereas in Brazil,
I think also working hard here depends on how you look doing it. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can give you Kevin De Bruyne, which people probably don't even know. He probably does more running than someone like Roy Keane did because he's looking for spaces. But because he doesn't look like, and it's hard work, you know, people think he's not working hard.
Kevin De Bruyne has looked out of breath this season for me.
Now, I'm not talking about this season. I'm just giving you, like, on example. Look at Xavi, right? All right, we go to Xavi.
Yes.
You know how much running Xavi did in a game? Go and look it up. People, go and look it up. Because he's always needs to be available, right?
Steroid, little movements. Yeah,
moving. And that all that together accumulates to a lot. But because it's not Puyol, for example, and he's looking ugly doing it, and he's looking like he's exasperated and whatever, now we're like, yeah, well, Puyol worked really hard. they're all working hard in context. You just need to put context to it. You understand what I mean? And I just think this country a lot. We are very, like you said, it's very cultural. England's always been the country of here it is. There's two doors, but I want to go through this door, so I'm gonna smash this door and get through it rather than just go to the other door.
You're not going to have a peek. You're just going to smash it down.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and there's a big wall blocking that door. But you know what? If I just go to the right and open the door, I can get to the same place. Do you understand what I mean? It's just like you said. It's cultural, and it's cultural to always talk like that after a game as well. And I think that's why why I say, going back to Jadon and Ten Hag, where the difference is that Ten Hag was very straight talking.
Mm-hmm.
People wasn't used to that.
Yeah,
he's Dutch. I'm telling you now, the Dutch are very straight talking.
They don't sugarcoat things.
No, they don't.
As well.
And I like it because when you play in Holland, even the interviews after, today we was SHIT, and it's not bleeped out.
Well, I think Jordan Henderson sort of found it quite difficult at the start when he was in Holland as well, with the
questions
the
and
saying, you played a horrible game today, Jordan.
Yeah, and he was like, Jordan should have called me. I've had some big problems in Holland with the media.
So again, it's a cultural thing, right? So what was the most offensive question that they've come across with to you
in Holland?
Yeah, because again, in
Holland.
No flowers, right?
Listen, that's another episode. We made that on another episode. It wasn't so much offensive questions. It's just that no matter what, I couldn't do enough. No matter what.
Nothing was good enough? Or?
Nothing was good enough.
Okay.
Because they'd come from Graziano Pelle, who scored like 30 goals that year. They'd come from, who's the Swedish striker? Amazing talent, had a lot of injuries. Played at Man City, then went to Celta Vigo. So went to Feyenoord, Celta Vigo. Was born in Kenya. But he's white.
Yeah.
What's
some good players, basically.
Nah, he's top. He's a good player. What's his name? I need to get it. Anyway, they had him. I'll find out what his name is for you after. He scored like another 30 goals, where me just on 15 goals, but winning games. My whole thing was I wasn't going to get you 30 goals, but everybody around me is going to score more goals. You understand? For the media, I was different to what they were. Not just that, different. I was also outspoken. For example, I would, when he asked me something, I'd be like, "Well, no, did you not see?" Like, for example, we played Ajax.
They weren't expecting somebody to come back, right? Because again, the footballer generically as well, even in Holland too as well, your platitudes. You're just going to say the bare minimum, right?
Yep. Plus, also to be articulated. So, and to actually be a studier of football. So, for example, I remember it like it was yesterday. We played Ajax. We absolutely, if you go and watch the highlights, destroyed Ajax. But we lost 2-1. So after the game, it was like, you guys, you lost another game. And I'm like, and then I come out with, well, hold on. If we look at the last 2 years, normally these games you've been destroyed by Ajax, scoreline and the way you've played. I think with us here, with the average age of 18, 19, right, not spent no money, the way we play today shows me a lot of character, and there was like it was like a big back and forth between me and him. Do you understand?
You were giving him a Postecoglou, weren't you?
Well, yeah, I learned from the best. No, but also what they would do is because in Rotterdam, they have a massive paper.
Yeah.
And this guy...
Rotterdam Dagsblad, right?
Something like that, yeah. And this guy would always try and hammer me because obviously I was getting paid nicely. I won't go into the details about how I was getting paid because I respect them, how they did it. But he would always bring that into a fact. So now what that would do is when I'm walking around now and I'm with my wife and with my kids, it's giving ammunition now to some fans now to maybe say something. So then it's giving me problems on the road because if you're going to confront me, especially while I'm with my kids and my wife, don't think there's nothing coming back. It's going to be something. And that's what started to happen. So then when I saw him, yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, you know what? At Feyenoord, at Rotterdam, you know what? In Holland,
Rotterdam is a port city as well. Let's face it
Rotterdam.
as well.
Listen, best place in Europe. Love Rotterdam. Yeah, for all my people out there, listen, Rotterdam is
It's a different kind of place.
unbelievable. But the thing with Holland is, no matter what industry you're in, whether you earn 100 million or you earn £1,000, everybody's the same. So like VIP queues and that. At that time while I was in Holland, there's no such thing. Like VIP entrances and you go into the cinema. Like the luxury seats and all that. There's nothing. Everybody's the same in Holland.
Yeah.
So why I say that is that Feyenoord used to. How can I say? What's the word I'm looking for? Feyenoord used to, I think they still do, is, all the media, they would provide food, beverage, and a place for them to stand during halftime and at the start of the game, and they would accommodate them and facilitate, which is good in hindsight, but not good when someone's attacking your players personally. But guess what? The players where we was literally next door. So I'd had enough. I just walked in there, I opened the door. It's like, you listen, and just from there. And that's what happened at my time.
Well, I don't know where that leaves me after some of the things that I've said on this podcast. I just hope that I don't run into any more footballers. But no, Colin, it's been an absolute pleasure as well. We'll be doing the same again next week too. That's it for the Football Park podcast in association with Brixton Radio from the lovely sunny Lambeth. Until next time, catch you later.